Welcome to the Eczema Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Julia Chen. I'm here to help you heal your eczema naturally so you can finally live your best damn life. Many years ago in my own eczema healing journey, I was stuck and confused on how to heal my skin. Fast forward to today, after many lessons learned and lots of trial and error, I'm now living my best life and traveling the world with clearer skin. If you're an eczema or TSW warrior who desires a life of food freedom and is wanting to heal your skin without steroids while using mindset and manifestation as a tool, you're in the right place. Now let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Eczema Warrior podcast. Today's episode is an episode that a lot of you have been asking me to talk about, and it's all about how to relieve the eczema and or TSW itch. This is like the number one thing a lot of you struggle with. It's something I personally struggled with when I was going through flares, and so I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips today in the episode to help you with managing it. Of course, before we get started in the episode, I'm just going to do a short little life update because last week's episode, I think I talked like 10 minutes straight about my life update. And this week, honestly, I don't have any big plans or super exciting things I'm doing. I traveled for like the past week. So over the next few weeks, I'm just going to be hanging out, chilling, working, possibly taking some more surf lessons, maybe exploring other beaches here in Nicaragua. And then next month, I have more exciting things coming, but I will share with you when that month comes. Okay, let's talk about this week's episode. 5 ways to relieve the eczema itch and TSW itch. Before I start giving you guys these tips, I want just to send a reminder that sometimes when it comes to the itch, it is really inevitable. There's no quick fix for it. There's no specific way that will make the itch go away. Sometimes it just needs to happen. So before you listen to this episode, I just want you to remember that it's not something that you can just get rid of right away. Though the tips that I'll be sharing today will definitely help. So first of all, before we start to give the tips, the very first thing I recommend all of you guys to do, and it's something I did for myself and for my clients, is to first figure out the cause of the itch. Reason because if you don't know the cause of the itch, then we don't know exactly how to address it. And the itch has many different reasons. And I'll list out some of the causes that are the most common. Number 1, stress itch. How many times have you started scratching, started becoming itchy when you're stressed? Whether it's stress about work, relationships, stress about your skin, you start to scratch. So stress itch is very common. The second itch is related to what you ate. It's not as common, I find, and I feel like a lot of people think that it's always food related. Not always, but definitely there are times where maybe you've eaten something that your body's sensitive to, and that could cause an itch. The third itch is the TSW itch. This itch is probably the hardest and most challenging itch to alleviate. There is really no way to make the TSW itch go away, and it's something that just kind of happens with time. Fourth itch is a healing itch that I think a lot of people don't talk about, but when your skin is trying to heal, especially those wounds, those cuts, and especially when your skin is in the stage of very dry skin and flaky, this is the healing itch that you might experience, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. It means that you are healing. And then the final itch, that's the most common, is an itch caused by an allergy. So maybe you were exposed to something that you're allergic to, whether it is pollen, whether it's dust, maybe you have an allergy to a certain food. That can definitely cause an itch. Or maybe you had contact dermatitis, meaning that you touch something that you're allergic to, like a chemical, and that can also cause an itch as well. So step 1, once you determine where the itch came from, then you can use the tools I'll be sharing to help you alleviate the itch. So 5 ways to relieve the eczema and TSW itch. Number 1, I'm sure you have already heard about this, but it honestly works really well, especially when you want instant relief, and that is using ice packs. Ice packs, honestly, is all I used during my TSW journey because when you're going through TSW, the itch really does have to happen, and there's nothing that will fix it. But what you can do is to place ice packs on areas of your skin where you're experiencing the itch. So always have ice packs ready in your freezer. If you don't have ice packs, you can honestly use anything in the freezer to help you not itch as much, because you can place it directly on the flare and then it will definitely calm it down in the moment. It's not permanent, but it's temporary. Number 2 is to consider taking an antihistamine. My favorite antihistamine actually isn't the prescription ones, the ones that you get at the pharmacy. It's actually something called quercetin. Quercetin is a natural antihistamine that honestly works just as well as using medicated ones. And quercetin is basically found in plants. And it works really well when you pair this with nettles. And nettles is also an antihistamine. It's an herb that you can take either in a capsule form with the quercetin, or you can drink it as nettle tea, something I recommend for my clients who really struggle with histamine issues. And again, not everybody has histamine problems, but if your itch is related to too much histamine in your body, taking quercetin and nettles can be really helpful for that. Number 3 is deep breathing, believe it or not. Sometimes the itch that you have isn't actually an itch. It's because you are so used to scratching and it has become a habit in your life to itch. And honestly, anyone who's going through TSW or has eczema, you know what I mean by this. And when it becomes an habitual itch, that is under your control to try and stop that cycle. And deep breathing has been shown to really help with that, because there is something called the brain itch cycle. Okay. When you have an itch, or you think you have an itch, and then you start to scratch that part of your body that is itchy, you're sending signals to your brain to tell your brain that this place is itchy or this part of your body is itchy. And then the brain will then want to itch it more. So this is what happens when you're basically scratching, itching, and then thinking you're itchy when you're really not. And then it signals to your brain to scratch more. So one way to alleviate this is to do deep breaths to get your attention off of the itch. I always suggest doing 6 deep breaths, because there's actually a research study that talked about how taking 6 deep breaths actually helps with the fight or flight response more than taking 5 breaths, more than taking 4 breaths. So deep breathe in through your nose and then breathe out like you're breathing out through a straw, or you can breathe out as if you are sighing. So every time you experience itching, I want you to think about it. Okay, am I actually itchy, or is it habitual? Can I stop it or alleviate it through taking deep breaths? Number 4, kind of similar to deep breathing, but finding a distraction. Keeping your hands busy. Again, sometimes when we are scratching because we're used to it, we don't even realize we're scratching. So whenever you notice that you're about to scratch, or you think you're about to be itchy, or you actually are itchy, get up and do something. Go make yourself something to eat. Go play with a fidget toy or anything that will help distract your mind and help distract yourself from scratching. I have a client who actually uses bubble wraps. Whenever she gets itchy, she has like bubble wraps laying around. She'll go and pop the wraps, and it helps her to become more distracted. But it can honestly be anything that you can do. It doesn't have to be bubble wraps. It doesn't have to be making food. It can be literally anything. Sometimes what people do is they just get up and they start pacing around the room. And that helps with distractions, right? You got to do what you got to do sometimes to at least help a little bit with the itch. Okay. The 5th way to relieve the eczema TSW itch is something that I swear by, and it has changed my entire TSW journey, and it's by getting my nails done. For my ladies out there who are already doing this, you know this is a game changer. Get your nails done, because as you know, sometimes the itch is really inevitable. So if we need to scratch, let's try to make the damage as less as possible. And gel nails, game changer. Extensions work better than doing it on your own nails because I find that when you do gel on your own nails, it's still pretty sharp and you can actually still get into your skin. Getting extensions and getting your nail artist to make the gel thick so that when you scratch, it's not sharp. And always getting your nail artist to also file the inside of your nail because I've noticed that if I don't tell my nail artist to file the inside, it often is pretty sharp. So gel nails is my 5th tip in helping to relieve the eczema itch. Now, the last question that you guys have questions about is how long does it take for the itch to end? Unfortunately, there's no timeline for when it will end, and it also really just depends on the person and also depends on what drove the itch in the first place. What I will say is that when your itch is caused by stress and TSW, this is the most challenging to heal, and it does take longer. Just because when you're going through TSW, your nerves are trying to heal, and because you've used steroids for many years of your life, the steroids is usually what helps to stop the flare and to stop the itch. However, when you take the steroid away, your skin no longer knows how to manage the itch and the flare by itself. And so when your body is trying to heal from a TSW itch, is literally your blood vessels and your nerves trying to heal. And there's nothing that can speed that up but time. And of course, the 5 tips I talked about today in the episode. Now, if your itch is caused by food flares are always faster to heal as long as you remove the food out of your diet temporarily, take a quercetin, get some rest. That should usually make the itch go away. And then lastly, if your itch is caused by healing, like a healing itch, your skin is very flaky, very dry, elephant skin, that can also take a while as well. But I want you to remember, again, this is the time when your skin is getting stronger. And when it gets stronger and it's trying to heal and it's more elephant-y, it's more scaly, you'll notice it will be more itchier. But this is the next phase of healing, and it's actually a very, very good thing. So I hope this episode helped you today with helping you relieve the itch. If it did, please let me know. Send me a message on Instagram. If you have more questions about this episode, let me know. If you need more support, I do coaching for my clients inside my program, Clear Your Eczema. We're taking new clients right now. If you're struggling with the itch, if you're struggling with flares, if you're struggling with just healing in general, this is exactly what we do inside my 6-month container. So we have that going on right now. And then we also have a journaling guide that's on sale. If you need help with the mindset support, with shifting your negative thoughts to positive thoughts, you can grab the journaling guide at the show notes below and also apply for Clear Eczema in the show notes below. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, a good rest of your day, and then we will catch you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Now, before I let you go, I want to let you know I have this amazing free eczema visualization meditation. This visualization has helped me so much in my healing. It has helped me manifest skin healing faster than I ever imagined. My clients and I use it. We use it all the time in our group coaching calls, and it's honestly the best tool to use when it comes to healing. Now, if you want this visualization, all you have to do is leave us a review and give us a rating. Take a screenshot of this podcast and your review. Send it to our email at hello@juliachen.com, and you will receive this amazing free visualization. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss out on this one. This visualization has literally changed my life. My clients and I do this every night before bed or even first thing in the morning, and it helps them heal flares faster. Okay, look forward to hearing your review, and we will see you soon.